Hello there, Savanna. All right, so well done for taking action and putting pen to paper or hand to keyboard, as we could say nowadays. But taking action to improve your IELTS score. You're exactly the type of student we like to work with. Let's go. People believe previous prisoners who changed to be a good citizen would be the best teacher to educate teens about how dangerous would committing a crime be. Okay, so let's just shorten that a little bit towards the end to gain about the dangers of committing crime. Yeah? We're saying the same, we're saying it with less words, it's more concise, it's more succinct. This is a style we should be aiming for with our academic IELTS essay. I am strongly in favour, or I wouldn't say advocate. It's I strongly believe inviting them to share their stories and encouraging stories. You know, their stories of committing crimes in their previous, sort of like in their past, is probably not, you couldn't call it an encouraging story for youngsters, you see? So be careful about the adjectives we use there. And so I strongly agree that inviting former criminals or inviting them to share their stories and educational information related to crime. Okay, so yeah, it needs to be rephrased. So I strongly believe that inviting former criminals to share their stories could help reduce crime in the future. Okay? Because I guess that's the assumption. The best people to talk about teenagers about the dangers of committing a crime. Regarding the consequences and responsibilities that should be borne after committing a crime. Okay, so that needs to be rephrased. The whole sentence is a bit long, and the longer the sentence, the higher the chances of grammatical mistake. So let's rephrase. Regarding the consequences and that should be borne after committing criminal pain. On this hardship from a first-person perspective. So yeah, I would rephrase it all because you can hear me tripping up on the language used. Regarding the consequences and the responsibilities. Regarding the consequences of committing a crime, people with jail experience can give an introduction, can share the hardship experienced from a first-person perspective. Okay, so in introduction I would just remove, and likewise responsibility should be borne. For example, sharing about their life in a bored and life-threatening prison. Okay, doesn't make sense. Okay, this is called incongruent. Yeah, it's like saying the silently loud disco. I couldn't hear you because of the screaming sound of silence. It doesn't make any sense. And how can it be boring when it's life-threatening? If you're in a life-threatening situation, I hope you're not boring. Okay? I hope you're not bored. Sorry. So just be careful about the choice of words. For example, sharing about their life in a boring prison, and how they suffer from isolation and discrimination when they try to get back to society, and the mental breakdowns they suffered before. Okay, so here's the general structure. We should be going from general down to specific, and at the end we have specific, okay, which is the example. So your example should be nearer to the end. Also, we need fuller sentences, okay? So, for example, sharing about the boring life in prison and how they suffered from isolation and discrimination could easily dissuade younger people to commit a crime. Okay? That we've completed the sentence now. A first-person perspective enables young adults to experience the speaker's feelings through the story. It can warn teenagers to avoid committing any criminal events such as stealing, raping, and hurting people. Full stop. As a result, educational sharing can promote the consequence of committing a crime. Okay, full stop. That's enough. Okay. Furthermore, the process of the previous prisoners overcoming all obstacles they have faced could be beautiful and encouraging stories which are worth learning. Full stop. For instance, how to regulate emotions when having a mental breakdown, or how perseverance or how their perseverance helped them to be a normal and well-behaved citizen. Full stop. Okay, so you can hear me struggling. All right, so not only do we need to work on exam skills, i.e., like your paragraph structure, but there's a lot of work to be worked on. There's a lot of work to do with your language skills. Okay, and this goes back to sentence construction, word order, and that's why it's kind of, you can hear me struggling. Okay, now my advice would be to just go for simplicity at this point. Okay, when you join our online course, we'll give you a framework to use, which makes it a lot easier for your paragraph construction, organization of ideas, and we'll tell you how to get the vocabulary you need. Although your vocabulary is super at the moment, there's still a little bit of room for improvement. Now, with your language skills, we improve that through more feedback. Okay, and we'll correct every single sentence that you send to us in order to boost your score and so that you can learn and start improving. So I'm going to send you some links to the course. Okay, have a look at them, and if you've got any questions, just feel free to shoot me an email, and we can hopefully help you pass IELTS first time, because it can be quite expensive to take test after test after test, which is definitely something you want to avoid. Okay, so final sentence: taking broadening horizon for speakers and prisoners with determination making change can be educated about the dangers faced in committing a crime. Now, the good thing about this is that we're going back to the question, which is fantastic, which will help you with your task response. So, Savanna, have a look at the links that I sent you, and hopefully we'll see you on the online course soon, and we can start improving your essay writing. Just one final thing, I'd probably put this at a 5.5. So if you need a 7, we've definitely got a lot of work to do.